Welcome to Mint, Marketers in Need of Therapy. Yes, we joke that we're marketers in need of therapy, but the T stands for so much more. Training, thought leadership, time-saving tips, tools, a team, enabling us to thrive as marketers.
Okay, so welcome to Min, our podcasters for marketers in need of therapy. The world is changing out there so fast, and so many marketers are pulling their hair out. And although we jest with the word therapy, that T stands for so much more. Training, thought leadership, tools, team, time-saving tips, enabling marketers to really thrive. And this podcast is to help you thrive in marketing. And I am so excited to be joined by the amazing Dee Blick, best-selling author, marketing author of 6 amazing books. So welcome, Dee, to Mint Podcast. How are you?
Well, it's lovely to be here and thank you for having me.
Good stuff. Well, we're very excited to have you here, and I've got the book with me here, your new book that's just launched. It's very exciting.
I'll
But
match it.
it would be great. It would be great to tell us about your career journey and how you've got to where you are right now.
Oh, wow. Potted history is started in marketing at 20, just short of 22. And here I am, 63. How many years later? Like 41 years. So I started out with big brands with huge budgets, inordinately large budgets for being such a young woman in the 80s in the direct marketing era when it was all about Drayton Bird and the greats of direct marketing. Eventually, I tumbled out of being in big glossy careers and started my own business as a marketer. And that's where I've been really in the last probably a good old 30 years, just working for myself and having the most amazing eclectic group of clients, from small local brands, predominantly B2B, to global brands. And I've also had a part in growing brands so they've become global. And then along the way, I just happened to write books. And I always regard myself as a marketer whose first love was writing. So I'm really fortunate that I brought my writing talent, if you like, into marketing. Then running parallel to my career, I just started writing books, and the rest was history. Some of them went, the second one went mad. It got on a global stage. And suddenly I was in demand, which is a wonderful feeling as a marketer, because we're often made to feel as though we're not the richest person sitting at the table. So to have that coveted status of being an international author, suddenly clients and businesses started to pay a lot more attention to what I was saying.
Love that. Amazing, amazing. And so you've written 6 books, not just one, Dee, 6 amazing books, which is incredible. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, I mean, again, very briefly, because I don't want to bore people to death, but my first book, the L plates were on the cover. I kind of pioneered the concept of marketing on a shoestring, even back in the 1980s. So my first book did all right. I think it sold 5,000 copies. My second book was the ultimate small business marketing book, and that just went berserk. My professional body, the Chartered Institute of Marketing, endorsed it. They recommended it, and it got to 150 on Amazon in book sales, which was unheard of for a business book where I didn't have the backing of a big publisher by any stretch. It then got into China, and I got a publishing deal with one of the biggest publishing groups in China who translated it. And on the back of that, I got a publishing deal with Wiley, who produced business books. And again, Sim endorsed the book, which made that another global bestseller. And on it's kind of rolled into the present day. With my book, I've had a 10-year gap where I've been just writing, but in background writing, writing for magazines and editing stuff. And so the latest book is my passion piece. But I just love the fact that as a marketer, I'm also able to write and share my message for other marketers as well as small businesses to sort of sit up and think that's good. I can embrace those tips. I don't need the biggest budget in the world to do something inordinately crazy and magnificent for a client.
Amazing. Love that. And your book, the one that's just come out, it came out last week. Why have you written this? Talk to me about this book.
This really is it's a passion piece. I didn't have to write another book. I just felt that with so much going on in the world at the moment about AI, and I'm very keen to emphasize I'm not some dinosaur or Luddite. I see the benefit of AI, but I'm also seeing personal brands and business brands. I call it the bleaching of the brands. So really sucking out the colour and the vim and the vigour of the personal brand and the business brand. And I just felt that a book had to be written which really brings together my 40 years experience helping business owners build a strong and robust brand on a local or a global stage, and also doing likewise with my own personal brand. And I just thought that what I've learned, I could encapsulate it in a book in a very conversational style of writing so that other marketers, other business owners can think, gosh, Dee's sharing how it can be done. And it's part inspiring, that's the aim. But also my usual trademark, Emma, is I'm very practical. I've got my qualifications with SIM, but I am not a theory driven marketer. It's all about practical application. And my view is that it's taken me 40 years to write a book that appears as common sense. I really had to hone my craft. And so personal branding and meshing your personal brand with the business brand, I don't think has ever been more important, because I'm also the commissioning editor of a big media brand. And I'm seeing the insidious creep of contributors, of people submitting AI fueled content. And it's like, what happened to you? What happened to your personal story? What happened to your values and your ethics? What happened to the written word that you should be curating so assiduously and so carefully? And I'm seeing the erosion of that just in that role alone as a commissioning editor. And I'm really keen to say, don't, embrace the tools of AI to inspire you, but don't lose sight of your personal brand. And the whole point of my book is to show you step by step how you can move from being authentic to actually then translating that into being magnetic, because it's not enough, as we know, just to bring your authenticity to the table. That is the bedrock upon which great personal brands and business brands are grown. But we need more than that if we want to be waving, going, hello, I'm here. Take notice of me. These are all the amazing things that I'm bringing to the table. And I'm not a house built on stand. There's real gravitas. And that was really the inspiration for my latest book.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And the thing that there's a big bit in here as well about around building your confidence. And I do think that is the biggest struggle. And I would say it for myself, is actually marketing yourself is so hard. Like you want to say, it's basically putting yourself out there and say, look at me, I'm amazing, but in a much some more subtle way. And it's that fine line, isn't it? How do you think people deal with that? I mean, I know you talk about it in your book, but it'd be nice to share it on this podcast.
Well, I think you've made a really important point there, Emma, which is, and I have got quite a checkered background. I've learned a lot over the years. I've overcome addiction, and that's taught me so much in the field that I brought into my book. My view is this, that we are capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. We're a whole bundle of untapped potential. We have so many talents. If I'm talking about marketers here, we're the most pivotal people in the organisation, if only the organisation would see that. But I think on a human level, it's quite natural, especially if you've been brought up to think, oh, I mustn't boast. We see almost like fluffing our feathers out as boasting. And I really wanted in my book to have a whole chapter on fear of failure, because what I often see with marketers, with talented people, is they dress up, they call it playing it safe, and really it's fear of failure. Because playing it safe is when we say, oh, you wouldn't catch me doing any public speaking. I couldn't possibly do a podcast. I couldn't have my name on an article. It's just too much. And really, we're fearful of being judged. We're fearful of being seen to be less than. And that was why in this book, I didn't want it just to be a marketing textbook. So it was so important for me to have a chapter on overcoming fear of failure by identifying what are the voices in our head that are holding us back. And invariably, it's that we either don't think we're really worth it, we don't think that we're expert enough because, gosh, there are others out there that are more competent than ourselves. And we don't think we've got the right to that space. And so I know from personal experience, having to overcome fear of failure at a fairly enormous level over the years, that my book had to include a chapter on that. And I brought in other people that I respect with saying, come on, be honest, do you get fear of failure? So it's important that we talk about it, which is why your community is so vital, that you get talented. And I say vulnerable, we're all vulnerable, even though we don't see ourselves. We're kind of like that raw version of ourselves we don't want everybody to see. And for me, my mission now as an older woman and as a marketer is to inspire others. And I call this tap into your magnificence, tap into your greatness, acknowledge it. If you're frightened about something, talk about it, because invariably the sting will be taken out of it when other people go, I feel just the same way too. And so it would have been negligent of me not to address this in my book, because I've worked with so many founders where I've seen that this fear of failure is holding them back, but they don't identify it as that. They're a bit playing it safe. I'm too busy. And we really have to smash that to be able to remove that, whether it's a big barrier or a small one. We have to remove it and give ourselves permission to stand on that stage and say, it's like that ubiquitous L'Oreal advert, I really am worth it. I've really got something great to share. I've got something great to say, and I absolutely can. And that is the overriding message of my book. And when I then go into the how, but I really want to also address that, because I'm one of those frail, brilliantly frail human beings that have had fear of failure by the barrel load over the years. And if I look back at younger Dee, I wished I had a community like yours, but I wished I'd had somebody to say to me, you're pretty magnificent, you're amazing, get out there and make it happen. Quell that negative chatterbox, do something about it.
No, I love that. I think that's kind of gone into my next question a little bit, Dee. It was about in your time as a marketer, what was the thing you wish you knew at the beginning of your career? And is there anything you think that we kind of need to address right now as marketers?
I love that. And I was thinking about this question last night, and at the start of my career, I was terrified. I was consumed with fear, and I had massive imposter syndrome. How on earth had I been shortlisted from hundreds of marketers for this job? And the imposter syndrome almost drowned me out, that I couldn't find my voice. And so, what do I wish I'd had at the beginning? I wished I could have been part of a community, which, again, I'm looking at what you've developed. I wish that I had been plugged into a community that got me, that I could share. And I also wish, because I'm a huge advocate of mentoring, I so wish that I'd been assigned a mature mentor who could put their arm around me and go, you're okay. This is going to be an exciting journey for you, girl. You're going to be okay. You were picked for a reason. So try and put all that imposter syndrome to one side. So I think community and mentoring are fundamental to, obviously, marketers. I'm a marketer, and I'm talking to a marketer. I'm sure that also translates across all professions, but in particular marketers, because I feel that wrongly we have to justify our seat at the table, and we shouldn't. We should be at the head of the table.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And that's the thing. I think there is a shortage of marketing at the moment, isn't there? Sorry, mentoring at the moment. And actually that's something I want to be able to push forward with Mint as it grows and we continue, because it's so imperative. And I think it doesn't matter what your age, actually, you doubt yourself no matter where you are in your career, and just having that person, that shoulder to say, and someone to, say, you've got this, girl, you're going to be okay. Or boy, sorry. But yeah, it's really, really important to have that. So yeah, I think it's, fundamental, really.
Yeah, I'd love to be
Fantastic.
a mentor again for marketers. I was just thinking that today. I
Mm,
mentor quite a few businesses at no charge, because I like to, this sounds really cheesy, at the age I am, it's really about giving back now. It's that karmic debt. And I think life has been so good for me, particularly with overcoming addiction and what have you, that I'm in a space now where I want to give back. I want to mentor. So you'll have to keep me involved, if you would, in that.
Yes.
I'd
Oh
love to be
goodness,
part of
yes,
it
Dee.
because
But
not
we,
everything needs a paycheck or a pound sign at the end of it. And
no.
that's where I am now in my career, that I look back over 40 years and think I've been blessed. And I've
Yeah.
got all this bump up here, this knowledge, this going through mentoring and overcoming challenging times, that I'd love to be part of anything that you do just for the sheer hell of it.
Yeah, no, I love that, Dee. Yeah, thank you. I think that's it, isn't it? It is about it's not always about the what's in the bank. It's about how many people you've helped that day, in my opinion, and that's what life's about. So yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Brilliant. So if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing about how marketing is taught, or what would you change? Or if this, is this something you address in the book, or what would you do? What would your magic wand be?
That's another great question. There are so many answers to that, and I'm going to focus on the one that has been a constant for me. But I'm a very strong character. So if I'm in a meeting with a client, it's quite clear that I'm a strong character. I'm forthright in my views because they're born of experience and expertise. So I find it quite easy if a client goes, "Oh no, we shouldn't do that," because that I can be quite assertive, and that they will invariably capitulate because they realize that they're talking hot air. I think that if I had a magic wand, it would be that non-marketers appreciate the importance of marketing at every single part of a business, whether it's the onboarding of a customer, whether it's the retention, whether it's the customer service. I feel that marketing, it's now been siloed into digital, but it used to be all about exhibitions and PR, so the lighter stuff. And I feel that marketing is the thread that runs through every bit of a business. And businesses need to realize that and wake up to the fact that their marketer is pivotal. I always say that the marketer should be at the rich person's table, but sadly, people have a very narrow view of what marketing constitutes based on a lack of understanding. I would love to see that changed. And by the same token, I would like to see marketers becoming more assertive about the craft of marketing and its absolute relevance to every single part of the business, whether that is by way of regular pit stops, meetings, various forms of communications. There has to be a recognition that marketing is not all about AI and digital, that we're not going to sacrifice marketing because we can churn out a load of AI posts and suddenly our brand is bleached, but hey, we've saved money, so we're really chuffed. So there are two things to that. One is recognition of the great unwashed, that marketing is pivotal. Don't tell me that marketing is just about selling. Don't tell me that marketing is just about press releases. Marketing is about the whole customer experience and how we marshal all the forces to ensure that customers stay longer, they advocate for us, they buy more, and they eulogize about us. And I don't see that enough. As in my career, I have found myself, thanks to having a strong character, having to regularly put clients right when they brought me in for X, and I'm like, no, 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 this isn't where our journey starts. Our journey starts here. That, I mean, it's that quote, wasn't it, from Doyle? Marketing is a philosophy of business that puts the customer at the center of the universe. Another great one, Kotler, brand reality is defined by the customer's view. So I always say, if you've got customers in your organization, marketing is the engine that should be driving pretty much everything. That's a long-winded answer, but
Oh no, I loved it. I loved it. I was like cheerleading behind you. It was fantastic. Yeah, no, exactly that. And I think there's so many, quite a lot of the people in Min are lone marketers, and they are being told that they're not important in that organization. And I've been there. You start to believe it. So
yeah.
how if they're in their own on their own in that organization, how can they have that confidence to come out and really talk to those people? Because it is a hard one. You do start to believe it, don't you? You know that, the five people around you is what you kind of believe. So
Yeah, how do they do it? I think there are so many different things that I would suggest. I think, in no particular order, there is training. So, training on confidence and assertiveness, because not every marketer is going to be an outgoing person that can really put their view across. So I think it's almost doing a bit of a skills audit and thinking, where do I need to bring myself up to be able to champion marketing? And it could be it's just a matter of doing a little bit of training in assertiveness, in public speaking, in effectively running meetings. So look at your soft skills and think, where do I need extra polish and extra armor? I think community. I think tapping into your marketing. So, for example, Mint, tapping into your community and finding out how other marketers are also doing this. And I think then it's about marshalling the facts. So, do a bit of research online, read good books that really assert the importance of marketing as being the hub, the central engine of the business. And then think about creative ways in which you can disseminate your newfound confidence and all the all the gravitas that you've got from your research, as well as your experience. And it might be that, marketers, we are initiative takers, we experiment as well. So look at ways in which you can disseminate your message. Can you start a newsletter within the organization? Can you start a focus group of heads of business? So I've done this before. I did it for a huge brand where I brought all the different heads of business together to look at the importance of marketing. And also, sometimes other departments do not realize how marketing can help them deliver more. A good example being, I work with a very big brand looking at their onboarding. Now, good marketers will look at the communications used for onboarding. They'll also look at the training and say, how can marketing add some extra value here? It's the same with the sales function. I always bring sales and marketing together, and it could be how, and again, I did this for a huge brand, where even the copywriting, the sales team were gobsmacked when I said, before I write this brochure, I want the 2 top salespeople before work starts coming down and telling me, it was about 4-wheel drives of these pickup trucks, tell me why your potential customers want to buy, what are the barriers they present. And they suddenly were like, wow, marketing is quite a vibrant function. So establishing these high-performing teams where you've got a member from every department and you're each looking at how you can understand one another better. But fundamentally, as marketers, we're looking at, look, guys, this is how we plug marketing into everything. Because my experience has shown me working with global brands, local brands, national brands, that when you start to put marketing at the heart of everything you do, customer retention increases and sales go up and customer happiness increases. I recently delivered some training for a brand. I've developed a model which is in the book, Emma, called the WOW model, how we do one extra thing to make a customer go, wow, I didn't expect that. Now, I trained the admin team in how they could implement the WOW model. I trained the designers and I trained the sales team. And it was all like, wow, we've never thought like this. So marketing is at its heart an inherently creative process that fundamentally drives to the bottom line. And as soon as marketers start to think, wow, I am important. Now, how the hell am I going to get this importance disseminated through? When we start having those thoughts and those conversations happen, we suddenly do what Doyle said, is we put marketing at the center of everything, because customers are at the heart of everything that we do. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I'm aware that I'm going on.
No, not at all, not at all. And I think that's the thing, so many people say they call them leads or, sales. And at the end of the day, it is a person and a feeling that we have to
Yes.
create. And people do forget that, and it is important. So, yeah. And I think, a good start for anybody that's doubting themselves as a marketer is your book. I mean, I love the wow factor stuff, but it's also that, I haven't even thought of it about being magnetic. It's just about, for me, it's been about authentic. And, just the thought of magnetic is a bit scary, but it's also very exciting. So if you are doubting yourself, we are giving out copies of this book at our next event. But if you're not coming, you can't make it, it's on Amazon. So go grab it. It's amazing. I love it.
I
Fantastic.
love the point you just made you've made a really important point there about authentic. And when I met you, that was the thing. It was like you exude authenticity. But I always say to people, authentic is the bedrock upon which magnetism is built.
Yeah.
The world is full of great, authentic people that never got to shine in the spotlight. And my view on this, I think I put at the end of the book, life is short and precious. You deserve to be magnetic. Step into your circle of power. Because as marketers, once we become magnetic, people start to take notice of us. They start
Mm,
to listen to us. They start to take our advice on board. And suddenly the room is silent because people are listening to us. And that's what every marketer wants. And it's not enough just to be authentic. We really have to wave that flag and say, look, I am the real deal. And this is why
mm,
you need to look at me and listen to me. And that was the whole point of the book, was to say that we all deserve our place in the spotlight, but how many of us will never reach that, either because of the negative chatterbox or because we don't know the route map. And that's what I'm so passionate to share in the book, is this is a route map that will take you to magnetism on
mm.
a shoestring budget. So I'm glad you
Love it.
picked up on that.
Yeah, love it, love it. So, in marketing at the moment, there's loads of different buzzwords and trends right now. And what's the one crappy trend or buzzword now that you think future marketers should ignore, and what should they focus on instead?
Oh gosh, I wasn't sure about buzzword. I could probably pull up a load of buzzwords, but I'm not. I think what I'm seeing is about AI, that I'm seeing this blind move to AI with no regard for the impact it will have on the customer experience. So I hear a lot about, customer experience. I hear a lot about people talking about that, and about AI is going to be great for the customer experience. It's going to save us time. In fact, recently, two marketers came to an event and said they were using AI to write their post to enhance the customer experience. And I'm like, that is just utter crap.
Mm,
AI
mm,
will not enhance your customer experience. It's so that's probably, as a commissioning editor, I'm hearing a lot of this. We've got to, be effective and enhance customer experience, but it's a house built on sand, because when they're aligning it with AI, they don't realize it goes back to this saying, I've got bleaching the browns, that I'm seeing so much of this happening now as a commissioning editor. I'm seeing content coming through to me where, yeah, that was it. I'll see where it lands. I've heard that a few times recently with regard to AI. Just want you to see this, Dee, to see where it lands, and I think it's landed spectacularly badly. Do not. I don't want to see where it lands. I want your best work
yeah,
that's come from your authentic voice, not an AI post. And I'm seeing too much of this. And
yeah.
for marketers, we've got to go back to being strong and saying to our clients, I am not going to post a load of blogs that you've hewn from AI and ask me just to top and tail. But yeah, that's one of the things that's driving me a bit batty at the moment, probably in my role as a commissioning editor.
Love it, love it. I mean, I must admit, Dee, there's some of the, I think seeing some stuff on LinkedIn at the moment, a post written by AI, but also the connection messages on, you can tell them, yeah, I can see that you're part of the digital landscape. They've just copied something off the website or whatever, and it's just, and they're the same. They're just all the same. It's like you've just lost out on that connection. I'm not connecting with you. You couldn't even be bothered to write me a
Totally.
message.
You're right. It's so disingenuous, and I can see
Yeah.
through it a mile off. The minute that I've had a lot of people link with me recently. I produced a book, and suddenly I've got every man and woman and their dog trying to sell me marketing of my book, and I'm like, have you
Mm,
seen my book, and have you seen who I am? But it's an automated message, and I write back and say, I don't liaise with bots, and that's it. You don't hear from them again.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a worrying trend, isn't it? But
Yeah.
all the more reason for good marketers to take a stand,
Mm,
to say we're not about this. We're about crafting original, unique, reader-centric content where we deeply understand the needs of the people, whether it's customers. So we're trying to attract potential customers. We really understand what they're looking for, and we're going to craft messages that resonate with needs. We're going to address barriers. Don't send me your AI column and say, you want me to see where it lands. I've had that a few times. See where it lands off the runway, not in the sky.
love it. I think you probably answered the next question actually, but it is what part of marketing is putting you in therapy right now? But if it is AI, is there anything in the past that's kind of made you go, wanted to pull your hair out?
I think what's put me in therapy is, going back to my earlier point, is the lack of understanding of what marketing is really about. I think I've spent 40 years, I love marketing as a career. It's all I've ever known. And so when I'm with somebody who's like, a pet hate is a designer or a web developer saying, I'm a marketer. And I'm like, oh, you're in sim, are you? You're trained to be a marketer. No, I'm a web. It's like, you're a web developer. I've had printers say, oh yeah, I'm in marketing. And it's part of me going, you're not a marketer. Marketing is a craft. It takes time to learn. It's a skill. In my case, I got my fellowship, which was a hell of a lot of work. And that really grinds my gears when somebody, they're a rejoinder to me, say, oh yeah, I'm a marketer. Oh, I am too now. What do you do? And I'm expecting them to say they're in the, oh, I write blogs. Or the biggest thing was promotional gifts. I'm a marketer. Yeah, I'm in promotional gifts. Promotional gifts are fantastic, especially with lumpy mail. But the perception that everybody is a marketer, there are a few people that are genuine marketers, and we know who we are, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I do think, those low marketing managers working with businesses, they think everyone that's not in marketing thinks they're a marketer as well. They've got their opinion on what you should be doing from a marketing perspective. So,
Yeah, I feel for marketers where, and I've had it with clients, and thankfully the clients, when my book went bonkers, the second one, and I got into China, it really shifted the dynamic of client relationships, that they were courting me, which meant that my voice was listened to. And the amount of crap I've had from new clients where they'll talk to me about marketing, like, that's got nothing to do with marketing. Let's really focus on what marketing is. Let's put the customer at the heart of everything. And that goes back to the frustration of being a marketer and having to deal with people that do not understand what marketing is all about, or people that believe they are marketers because they sell pens or they design websites, both of which are, I thoroughly respect, but don't say you're a marketer. And that is my biggest beef, especially at a networking event, or I've been speaking and I have to have that face where, oh, oh, great, you're a marketer. Oh, okay, right, fine. Then I start saying, oh, are you in sim, or, suddenly it's like, well, I don't really do marketing. I design websites, but I help clients with marketing. And then it's like, respect the discipline of marketing, please.
love it. Okay, and final question. For a loan manager listening to this, juggling 100 things, feeling alone, doubting themselves, and thinking they don't have their shit together, what piece of advice would you give them, Dee?
First of all, flipping value yourself. You are in a profession that is absolutely remarkable, that has you have the capacity to move mountains in marketing. You have the ability to change the customer journey, the customer mindset, to change the orientation of the business, to redefine the products and services. So acknowledge once that you're flipping brilliant. Forget the outside noise that might be challenging you. Acknowledge you're flipping brilliant. You're in a great career. I would imagine that your best is yet to come. And please get involved in communities. Seek like-minded people that will support you, where you can be quite ruthless in your conversations about what's grinding your gears. But tool up, learn as much as you can, read widely, read great books on marketing, become a passionate advocate, and step out of the shadows and into the spotlight and claim your place.
Oh, Dee, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. You are an inspiration. You've really inspired me. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And everyone listening, buy this book. It's bloody amazing.
Oh, thank you, babe. It's been lovely. And as I say, if you want me involved in your community mentoring and
I
stuff, I'm all
definitely
over it. I'd
do.
love it.
I do. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, that was lovely.